once again hopped down on the was sweating as he jumped. He stood and looked over at Annie. You could see the smile spread back across the stranger's face. It moved, spreading sick cheeks. It's fine, Tim. He was pointing the hand out relaxed and pulled as it with Mr. Margot's corpse. Help her to that white froth coming from the corners of her mouth. You can see how his hand rested upon his back. Please, we don't need an answer, the father pleaded. Was that your son? The stranger reached out, and the father went to smack his hand away from the top matter. The stranger's stained fingertips slid into the boy's hair and pulled his head back of his father's arm gently. Can you repeat the question? I don't think everyone heard. Devil, the little boy asked again, this time with new tears streaming from his eyes. About the devil in Sunday's boy. The stranger lay in my stomach. With each time the question was barked out, I felt more of an urge to ask it myself. Are you the devil? The lying one? Are you the morning star? These questions weren't being asked by choice. Somehow he was making us ask them over and over again, like a chorus. I shouted my own version of the question over and over again. Everyone yelling and shouting, suddenly looking for answers. The stranger raised his hands high above his head as if he was in an old western stick-up. Then he slowly lowered them, with flat palms facing down. A slow and intense shh came from between his teeth. A sound that no one should have been able to hear over the yelling, but someone could. The room slowly tapered off in noise as his hands dropped, till all the questions were silenced. When the stranger spoke next, his voice was even less human than it had been previously, as if some sort of mask was starting to slip away. Lucifer, that poncy little bitch. A whiny cunt who couldn't handle the baddie that loved a bunch of apes more than him. He laughed and stepped back towards the pulpit. He stepped over the pastor who was still passed out on the floor with the snakes circling around him on the stage. Never throughout the whole time of God and man has there been a creature more worthless and petty than angels. And never has there been an angel more worthless and petty than Lucifer. Of a creature who sits back and He raised his head. The fake plastic smile returned to his lips. Another gasp rose from the crowd as the father wrapped his hands around his son's throat and began to squeeze. You could see the father's eyes were filled with protest, but his arms moved independently of his mind. His wife next to him started screaming and trying to push him off, but the man's grip was so tight, I could hear him pleading with his wife to stop him. She was suddenly raised out of her seat and thrown across the church by some unseen force. You could hear the sound of snapping bones as she struck the back wall hard enough to leave a crack in the plaster. God says Abraham's a bitch. Stay the fuck out of it. The father kept going, even when his son